at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, going into that last break, yeah, I'm a Tulane fan. I'd like to see John Summerall State put at Tulane. In an ideal world, John Summerall State's put at Tulane. LSU goes out and gets the best coach possible, maybe Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. But if I'm LSU, I would sort of put the brakes on the Lane Kiffin thing, and I would focus on John Summerall of Tulane as my primary candidate. I'd even talk to Tulane like, hey, Blake Baker, we talked to him. He might be interested in taking the Tulane gig. We'll take your head coach. You take our defensive coordinator. Everyone wins. Now, I know a lot of Tulane fans are freaking out going, we don't want to lose the coach to LSU. I hear you. I like Tulane and LSU as a New Orleanian. So if John Summerall has to leave Uptown, like I started this conversation, I'd like to see him stay put in Uptown. But if he has to leave, I'd like to see him go 80 miles upriver. And I'd like to see Tulane get Blake Baker, maybe the LSU defensive coordinator, or Tulane can go do a national search, do their due diligence and get the next best coach. But if Summerall has to leave Uptown, I hope he goes to LSU. And if I'm LSU, I'd focus on Summerall more than potentially flaky Lane Kiffin, who could get hired by LSU, and in a year, some NFL team shows an interest. He might have an interest in going, and he's gone, poof, just like that. Or maybe he's matured, and that's not going to happen. Here's a guy who's much more in touch with all of this. Fletcher Mackel joins us. Another edition of Fridays with Fletch. What up, Fletch?
Not a lot, Corey. What's up?
What do you think of that diatribe?
I think that's spot on. I don't know why you say I'm more in touch. You seem pretty in touch, and that was pretty strong, to be honest with you. I mean, look, I agree with you. Here's my take. Obviously, look, the athletics director sent out a statement, and I still, this is in its simplest terms, I don't think Lane Kiffin has made a decision yet. I think that he is still, I don't think there's anything more diabolical to it that, look, all the teams put their Godfather offers on the table. Ole Miss has a Godfather offer on the table. And I think LSU and Florida probably are outdoing one another to up the ante. I just don't think he knows. But I also think Ole Miss realizes, hey, look, if this is a distraction and we're a circus and we get upset in the Egg Bowl, that college football playoff committee is probably going to bounce us. And even if we're 10-2, they're probably going to say, hey, it's a distraction. They lost to Mississippi State. We can't put them in the playoffs. So I think for the greater good and realizing he may stay. It's, hey, look, we're focusing on the Egg Bowl this week, and he'll make his decision the day after. I don't think that sounds good for Ole Miss, because if he was staying, he could just say, I'm staying. Maybe, and again, I think this is where I land. Maybe he just really hasn't decided yet. That, as you called him, a flaky kind of guy, maybe he's just as flaky as we all think and as quirky and weird as we all think, and he just truly has not made a decision. So it's, hey, hunker down. I'm here. We're going to beat – if they beat Mississippi State and finish 11-1, it doesn't matter if he leaves the day after. They cannot keep an 11-1 Mississippi State with their only loss being to Georgia is in the playoff, and it doesn't matter if you coach the team, Corey. They're in, okay? So I think that's probably what the conversation was, is this is insane. It upsets Ole Miss because it's like, we've given you everything and we want to give you more. And the other schools are just on ice because Florida and LSU have both made no secrets. He's our guy and we want him. But I'm at the point with you. If he can't make a decision and he's dragging this out, maybe Verge and the new president at LSU say, who is our number 2? Go give them the mega offer and go get them now. The problem is this, and that's where I think Florida and LSU aren't in any major rush. Like, they have to make a decision probably around next weekend or next week going into the week after Thanksgiving. But their thing is like you just mentioned, John Summerall. I agree. I love John Summerall. I say it every week on your show. But John Summerall's not leaving Tulane next week. He's just not. Like, as long as Tulane is in the playoffs or in contention for the driver's seat, which they are, to make a playoff berth, I don't think John Summerall is going to leave them in the lurch. So even if LSU said, okay, Lane, F you, we don't want to deal with this anymore. John, we want you. Summerall may put him on ice. So again, that's where look, it's just screwed up that this is the schedule, that you have to do this right now, right before the end of the season, conference championships and the playoffs. But I've told you before, college sports is broken, and I don't know if it can ever be fixed.
Fletcher Mackel's with us Fridays with Fletch. We got a lot to cover. He's staying with us for a couple of segments, which is fantastic. Fletch, you kind of let off, about the AD. Let's clarify all that. You're talking about Ole Miss's athletic director, this guy Carter. He has said, apparently the Ole Miss president, the AD, Lane Kiffin, met this morning after his hot yoga. The Ole Miss AD says after next week's Egg Bowl, which I think is the day after Thanksgiving, Friday, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, an announcement regarding Lane Kiffin's future will be made. So I know it's so arbitrary. Like, we definitively know what it is. We just don't want it to be a distraction. So we're going to wait till after the game. Hey, he must be leaving. Otherwise, if we knew he was staying, we didn't make that announcement. Maybe he honestly doesn't know, like you're saying. I mean, it is all over the place. I think for anyone to tell you exactly what's going on that isn't the AD at Ole Miss, Sexton, the agent in Memphis, or Lane Kiffin himself, I don't know if they know what they're talking about. But boy, one thing's for sure. He has not said, I'm staying at Ole Miss. I have no interest in going anywhere else. You don't have to worry about me leaving. There's reports that his family went to Florida on last Sunday on a private plane, and then the family went to Baton Rouge on Monday on a private plane. So Lane Kiffin is obviously still out there. I just don't know what to read out of the AD's comments. And it's kind of strange in a way, Fletch, like, we'll find out a week from tomorrow. It's a little weird.
Yeah, it's a lot. Look, it's a lot weird. I mean, yeah. I don't lean more towards the he's leaving, because I really think Ole Miss is arguably the greatest coach in program history. He's going to take them to, barring an upset, he's going to take them to an 11-1 season and a playoff berth. It'll be the best season they've ever had. They can't just tell him, kick rocks, like, get out of here, see you later. So I think if he had told them, I'm out of here, I'm done, I'm going to LSU, I'm going to one of your biggest rivals that you've had in the history of the university, as weak as Ole Miss has to be right now, I don't know if they're that weak to say, okay, Lane, we get it, but stay another week, dude. Stay another week. Like, if he had told them, I'm done, I'm finished, I think they would have said, like, to use that, I can't curse, obviously.
Hit the bricks when
you,
you have an interim
get
coach
out of here. We've got Joe Judge, one of your top assistants who's got head coaching experience, is coaching the team. I really think he has told them, I just don't know. I don't know. I love it here. Y'all have been good, but these are amazing opportunities. Florida and LSU are former national champions, perennial powers, ceilings that are ridiculously high. I just don't know. So I think they probably said, great. It aggravates the hell out of us that you can't make a decision, but we got to put it aside to make sure we win this game, and we hope you stay with us. And that's probably where they are. Because like I said, that's not a great situation for Ole Miss to be in, to kind of have to sit there and wait and kind of acquiesce to all his whims. But I think truly, if like somebody's like, he knows, I'm like, if he knows that Ole Miss didn't tell him to get out, then they are the weakest program in the SEC. Like, they have no chance ever with this leadership if they're that weak.
Hey, Fletcher, besides Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss, it's Missouri's Eli Drinkwitz, it's Summerall at Tulane, it's Georgia Tech's Brent Key, it's Arizona State's Kenny Dillingham. Am I missing any of the first-line, top-notch candidates that would be LSU potential hires?
I would take Dillingham off the list just because here's the thing. Unless and again, look, coaches do crazy things. Saban swore he wasn't going to the NFL and he left LSU. Saban swore and got really nasty with the Miami media that he wasn't leaving the Dolphins to go to Alabama. You paint yourself into a real bad corner from a PR standpoint. Kenny Dillingham, I move off because he has painted himself into a corner numerous times, screaming it as loud as he can. I'm not leaving Arizona State. My sister lives next to me. My parents live a mile away. I'm a graduate. If he leaves, he is like a slime. Whereas, like, Key at Georgia Tech hasn't come out and said, this is my alma mater, I'm never leaving.
Right.
You know? So, I would just move Dillingham off. But, yeah, I think those are probably the usual suspects. And goes. Maybe there is a dark horse in there somewhere. I don't know if I buy all this NFL stuff like Joe Brady. I think Joe Brady's a great coach, but I think Joe Brady's next stop may be an NFL head coaching job, not a college job, since he's been out of college for 6 years now. So again, but yeah, I think those are your likely candidates: Drinkwitz, Summerall. I mean, again, I think a sitting head coach is going to get that job no matter what.
Hey, Fletch, we got about 30 seconds or so before we break. Shifting gears to Tulane, what do you make of the story that reportedly John Summerall was to interview at Florida in Gainesville yesterday, and then either Summerall canceled it or Florida did?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think a lot of this stuff is true. Again, I don't know how deep it is. I don't know if he had the actual interview and he canceled it. But again, you and I just said it. Summerall's a great young coach. He's a hot name. He's a high commodity. He's got an agent that works the phones for him. It may have been something that was set up, that was above him. And then when it got out, it's like, I can't do that. I can't be a distraction when I've got a huge game against Temple. Yeah. So I think Summerall is going to get a job, and he's a high commodity. So none of that stuff surprises me.
Fletcher Mackle's with us, Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you all the way till 6. We're coming right back. More with Fletcher, talking about LSU, Tulane, Pels, Saints, Willie Green fired. A full slate on this Friday. Don't move.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Friday. Hey, Lebanon's Cafe open till 9:30. I picked up lunch from Lebanon's Cafe earlier today, right around 12 noon. Carlina and the crew taking care of me, just like they'll take care of you. To-go orders, outside dining, indoor dining, lamb chops, shish kebab. Open till 9:30 tonight. On the streetcar line, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. Go dine outside with this wonderful weather under the oak trees. Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette. Fletcher Mackle's with us, another edition of Fridays with Fletch. Yeah, Fletch, I mean, it's kind of interesting. LSU desperately looking for their next head coach. Tulane desperately trying to retain their head coach.
It's true. It's true. And again, I'll say this. I don't know if either of them controls their own fate right now. LSU is kind of in the hands of Lane Kiffin in whichever direction the wind is blowing in his world. Yeah. And John Sumrall is with, I mean, look, he almost went to North Carolina last year. I mean, every year he's a hot coach. He's a great young coach. It's unfortunately the way of the world, like I said. The haves, the have-nots, and the super haves. Tulane is more of a have than a have-not, certainly, but they're not a super have, if you will, like, you know, one of these power SEC schools with money to just burn, like it's like they're like throw money like around like they're TikToks. And so, TikToks, excuse me. And so, So look, somebody's coming for John Sumrall, be it Auburn, LSU, Florida. Here's the thing. If Lane Kiffin leaves Ole Miss, I think Ole Miss would probably hire John Sumrall the next day if they could.
I think you're right.
He coached there. Like, Archie loves him. People love him. Like, and as a coach, even if guys leave with Kiffin in the portal, you still have a program that is built to achieve right away. So if I'm Ole Miss, that's probably a guy you just said, like, LSU should have Summerall on speed dial. If Lane leaves Ole Miss for LSU, Ole Miss should probably have John Summerall on speed dial since they know him and he's been on the staff before, So yeah. So again, so I don't think I think the universities are just control what we can control, and we can't control much right now.
No, there's no doubt about it. And I know Tulane fans don't like Summerall going to LSU. They don't like LSU, so that's terrible. They'd probably rather see him go to Ole Miss if they have to lose him. I'm kind of the opposite. I'd hate to see him go anywhere else. I'd like to see him stay in state because I love the guy. I love how he loves Tulane, love how he loves Uptown, love how he loves New Orleans, defends New Orleans. You and I talk about it like you said earlier. Every week we love the guy. He's a competitor. He's a winner. Is it unrealistic to think Summerall to LSU and LSU's defensive coordinator Blake Baker to Tulane?
No. Look, hypothetically, in the world that we're living in right now, this kind of fictionalized talk world that we're in right now, let's just say Kiffin goes to Florida or stays, LSU does land on Summerall. Blake Baker, I think if I'm John Summerall, I'm doing everything to keep Blake Baker. You know what I mean? I think Blake Baker has been a great addition. I know Blake Baker's a Tulane graduate. He played on that bowl team in the Hawaii Bowl. He's got a great reputation. He's done a solid job turning their defense around. And look, call me crazy. Blake Baker's, obviously his name's going to be in the mix for jobs. I still think if I'm David Harris, I still think, look, and you and I talked about this just 2 years ago. When Willie Fritz left, it was, can they get a guy like Summerall? He's leading to be the Power Four. And it wasn't. It was Tulane. So I think that, again, I'm not saying Blake Baker, and I don't want to disregard him because he's a coordinator, not a head coach. But I think you have the potential to get somebody even better than Blake Baker, like the coach Huff over at Southern Miss. He did a great job at Marshall, led them to the bowl game. Think turned Southern Miss around in 1 year. I mean, he's been a guy who's been thrown out there for Power Four jobs. I think Blake Baker should absolutely be in the former head coaches or current head coaches that should also be considered for that job. Here's a wild one, and I don't think Tulane would ever consider it. Ever in a million years, ever. But again, two people that said,
wait, we lost you. We lost you for a second. What did you say, Flex?
Oh, yeah, sorry. You there?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. It's one of those things where, there's LSU people who are kind of like, we can't consider the Tulane guy. I'm not saying this should happen. I'm just throwing this out there. What if Coach O wanted the Tulane job? I don't think that's the worst thing in the world.
No, that's the worst thing in the world. I totally disagree. I think that is the worst thing in the world. I would like nothing more than to never hear from Coach O in college football coaching in the state of Louisiana. Seriously. Just obnoxious, loud, can't coach at that level. That would be the worst move for Tulane. He's proven he cannot coach at a major college level. It's too big of a job. So let me just say this, just to play devil's advocate. He won a national championship. Oh, no doubt. And you take that away, and I know that's like, you take that away, it's a national title. He's almost crashed the LSU program. If it weren't for LSU being able to recruit, coupled with the transfer portal, which Kelly didn't even do a good job with. If they had 39 scholarships when Ogeron left, and he was like a blueprint on how not to win a national title. The Ole Miss debacle. I got a sour taste in my mouth on Ed Ogeron. I love 2019. I love that season. He earned it. It's his forever, but he is not college head coaching material. And I'll end it with this. All the great coaches he coached under when he was a defense coordinator, D-line coach, he never was a coordinator. Those great coaches, Jimmy Johnson, whoever it was, were like, this guy isn't coordinator material, and he's definitely not head coaching material. So no, that Ed Ogeron would be nauseating. I thought you were going to say something like Frank Wilson, and I was going to be like, Frank Wilson's a better head coach, arguably, than Ed Ogeron. But Frank Wilson kind of failed as a head coach at Texas San Antonio or McNeese, or didn't truly succeed. So no, you're making me nauseous with that comment.
Look, I'm just throwing it out there. My point being is, I think that the two
Lost you again. I lost you. I don't know why you keep dropping out. The what?
It would attract a really good candidate.
Yeah, no, I mean, Tulane's in a good spot where they definitely can grab elite, up-and-coming coaches, and they're 2-0 with that. They're 2-0 with that. Would LSU ever consider Willie Fritz? Go ahead, Fletch.
Yeah, no, they absolutely can. Like, they absolutely can, and probably will. Like, 2 years ago when Willie Fritz left, again, I remember. Just like obviously Kiffin is number one for LSU and Florida, Summerall was number one for Tulane, and they delivered, and they got him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who their number one would be. And again, I'm sure people. I wasn't trying to say O's my guy, and I like O, and I like Frank Wilson. I've been a long time Frank Wilson guy. I'm just saying there are coaches with. Now, look, you could go that route, and Blake Baker not hiring him may be a miss. He may be the next great young coach that is the up and comer that carries the torch from Fritz to Summerall to more winning. But again, I just think there'll be some sitting head coaches that you go, wow, that's a big time candidate there, and we got him.
No, and Tulane's paying, Summerall what, $3 million a year right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they can go get that coach. Those coaches you're talking about make, $1 million a year if they're successful at that level. So Tulane can go get those guys by doubling, 2.5, tripling their salary. Hey, Fletch, any final thoughts on the LSU coaching search or Tulane? I think one thing's for sure. I shouldn't say for sure, but I feel pretty confident. LSU's going to probably have to wait, through playoffs, through recruiting, before they hire a coach. And you said it earlier, and I agree with you. As long as Tulane's alive, John Summerall's not going anywhere. I think the guy's high integrity. He's not going to abandon his team.
Well, let me say this, and this is my final thought. The best thing Tulane can do to keep John Summerall is keep winning, because John Summerall he's not doing a Lane Kiffin. He won't leave Tulane to go to another program if they're in the playoffs. And here's the thing. If John Summerall gets Tulane to the playoffs and he misses the hiring cycle this year, who cares? He will be, no matter what Tulane does next year, he'll be one of the hottest names in the cycle. If he gets Tulane into the playoffs, it doesn't matter what he does next year, even if he doesn't take a job this year. So to me, the longer Tulane wins and the longer Tulane keeps playing, the better chance they have of keeping John Summerall. Because you're right, he's got too much integrity. He's worked too hard. He's not leaving them before their playoff game if they make it that far. And if he coaches in that playoff game, some of these jobs by then will probably likely be filled.
Boy, Fletch, this is a trap game by definition. Tulane, Temple. Temple's 5-5. Summerall's even said it. Lost to Army by 1, lost to Navy by 1. They could easily be 7-3. They're 3-3 in conference. He's like they could be 5-1 in conference. And he's not saying woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's 1-point losses, and Navy's really good. It's at Temple. It's gonna be like 45, 50 degrees. I think it's Temple's homecoming. I think it's Temple's senior night. They win. They're bowl eligible. This is a trap game. Tulane really has to pull all the things Summerall talks about all the time, those Saban-esque type things. One game at a time, stay focused, don't overlook this opponent. If Tulane doesn't go play a game like 100%, 90, 95, 100%, they go play like a 70, 80% game, they lose at Temple, don't they?
100%. When we started, I told you, you said it very well. I can't say anything better than what you just said. Look, next week's game, they're playing an inferior opponent in Charlotte that is not very good. Yeah. And they're at home and if they win, they know they're going to host the conference championship game. But this is a game that you're right. Temple, I remember last year when Temple came to Tulane to play, it was don't overlook this team. They're on the up. And so this year, you're right. They're 5-5. They've got some close losses. This isn't a team that's 2-8 right now that's quit or given up or looking towards next year. This is a team that feels like they can still salvage their season and get bowl eligible. So they're coming in Philly with everything they got. And they know, teams know, hey, look, we can pop these guys and ruin everything for them. We can get bowl eligible and we can ruin. I know that the pettiness isn't something people think about, but don't think that it's not something that they're aware of is, hey, look, we beat this team. They're done. They're finished. They're out. They're over. Let's do that.
Yeah. QB, I think, has 20 touchdowns to 1 interception. Fletch, you gave us 2 segments. I'd like to stretch it into 3 to 5 o'clock, but you probably got to run, huh?
I do, unfortunately, Corey.
No,
Sorry about that, but I do love you.
We'll get on Saints and all that other stuff next week. Thank you, Fletch.
All right, cool deal. All right.
You're the man. That's Fridays with Fletch. Coming right back. Don't move.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Yeah, here we go. 5 o'clock power hour coming your way. I know we had some audio technical difficulties last hour. We got that loose connection fixed. Yikes. Thanks for sticking around. Got a good one lined up for you. But first, Drew Brees. He's absolutely right. It is indeed New Orleans, Louisiana, home of some fantastic weather. I think we got a little bit of rain, maybe overnight, maybe some parts of the metro got a little sprinkling or two today. But boy, we got some good weather through the middle of next week. Lots of 60s and 70s, might creep up to 80-ish over the next 3 or 4 days, but lots of sunshine, lots of 60s and 70s. The weekend is upon us. Yeah, you're right. Ding, ding, ding. Toot, toot, toot. We're blowing the 5 o'clock whistle on the program like we do every Friday. What's the 5 o'clock whistle all about? Well, we just recognize this very moment, like 5 minutes after 5 p.m. on a Friday. We do it every week. 5:05, and it ain't no jive. $5, make you holla. 5:05 on a Friday. I like this very time of the week. First off, time goes by very fast. Just day after day, week after week, month after month. We're about, I was talking about 2025 like 6 weeks ago, it seems like. Now we're going into 2026 in like 6 weeks. Literally in 6 weeks. It's crazy. So time goes by so fast. Like it's 5 o'clock Friday right now. In 7 minutes, it'll be Monday morning. We'll be back at work again next week, huh? Work week goes by fast. Weekend goes by fast. So I like recognizing right now where I realize myself, I'm happy right now. It's 5 o'clock on a Friday. Pretty much 100% of the work week for most of us in the books. It's history. And the entire weekend, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. The whole weekend is entirely in front of us. So I like 5:05 on a Friday. That's why we blow the 5 o'clock whistle, to put a spotlight on this very moment. Smell the roses. Because like I said, in 7 minutes, it'll be Monday morning. The 5 o'clock whistle on a Friday, a little after 5 p.m., appropriately brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Tough to beat Katie's in Mid-City, as New Orleans as it gets. A Mid-City mainstay, the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant with lots of New Orleans specialties, old school, and then an incredible array of local fresh seafood. Scott Craig will join us in a few minutes. Fill us in on what's happening at Katie's tonight and over the weekend, what's happening at Francesca Deli out in Lakeview, and some of his selections, some college and pro picks for you gamblers. Scott Craig from Katie's in a few minutes. The 5 o'clock whistle, appropriately brought to you by Katie's. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. is about 25 minutes away. Hopefully, with some good economic news for us, huh? Michael Hecht, Greater New Orleans, Inc. in about 30 minutes. That's how we do it on a Friday. On radio, on television, live on YouTube. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost anything. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. We're live on X right now. On Twitter, follow us at Corey Johnson. Corey spelled K-A-A-R-E. K-A-A-R-E at Corey Johnson on Twitter, on X. After the fact, like we're on live 4 to 6 o'clock every weekday afternoon. You can check out the program after the fact, yesterday's, last week, on X, on YouTube, and also the podcast on Spotify every weekday afternoon starting at 6. Plus, you can check out little clips from the program, little sniblets here and there on Twitter, X, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Yeah, you right. Lots of ways to check us out. CoreyTalks.com is our website. It's got all the info there. Corey Talks. I said it last hour. I'll say it again. LSU should pursue Tulane head football coach John Sumrall exclusively. Forget about Lane Kiffin. Go after John Sumrall. Honestly, like the obvious choice is Lane Kiffin. There's more of a, he's the guaranteed winner, been there, done that. Look what he's doing at Ole Miss. And then I say, look what John Summerall's done at Troy and Tulane. And he's going to be a Power 4 coach one day, and he's going to be successful. Now, in an ideal world, because I'm a Tulane fan as a New Orleanian growing up around that, and an LSU fan, New Orleanian, grow up around that, and a graduate of the school, in an ideal world, I'd like to see Tulane keep John Summerall, that John Summerall goes nowhere. And LSU land Lane Kiffin from Ole Miss. But I think Lane Kiffin, I think he's grown up a lot. I don't think he's as flaky as he used to be. He doesn't drink anymore. He does this hot yoga every morning, very disciplined, like an hour in the gym, 6 to 7 hot yoga every morning. Doesn't drink, like I said, but is the flakiness gone? Could he be hired by LSU in a year or two, go to an NFL job? Maybe. I don't see that with John Summerall. I see John Summerall getting the LSU gig. He's there for 20 years. So in an ideal world, I'd like to see Summerall stay at Tulane, LSU hire Lane Kiffin. If Summerall's going to leave Tulane, I would like LSU to hire him over Lane Kiffin. I would choose John Summerall. If he's going to leave Tulane, I would hire him over Lane Kiffin. And then Tulane could hire LSU's defensive coordinator, Blake Baker. Now, Tulane fans, especially those that hate LSU, A, they don't want to lose John Summerall. B, they don't want to lose John Summerall and have him go to LSU. They would say anywhere but LSU. But for me, as a Tulane and LSU fan, if Summerall's going to leave Tulane, I want him going to LSU over Lane Kiffin. No, Lane Kiffin's past history of flakiness should be a concern. Should be a concern. And I think John Summerall is a total winner, a great competitor. And he's 42. Not that Lane Kiffin's old. He's 50. Lane Kiffin would be at LSU for a decade plus. Summerall, too. So age isn't that much of a difference. I just mean Summerall's a little younger. He's hungry, competitor, winner. I mean, not that Lane Kiffin isn't. I just really like John Summerall. And I admit I'm biased. I live in New Orleans, have a closer view with him at Tulane. The national perspective probably isn't as strong. No one would pick Summerall over Lane Kiffin. But I would. Ole Miss's athletic director meeting with the chancellor and Lane Kiffin earlier today made an announcement. A week from today, after next Friday's Egg Bowl, that's the Ole Miss-Mississippi State annual clash, an announcement will be made regarding Lane Kiffin's future. A week from today in Oxford. We'll see. Corey Johnson with you, Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Looking for dinner tonight? Call them right now and get a reservation to Gallagher's 527. If they're booked up tonight, get a reservation for tomorrow night at Gallagher's 527. South Shore folks, what are you waiting for? I'm like you. I do a lot of rinse and repeat. You know the places I often go to. I mention them. Bayona, Irene's, Katie's, Lillette, Doris Metropolitan, Patois, Gabrielle, Treyen, Houston's. I love Houston's. Brightson's, Clancy's, Le Petit Grocery, GW Finn, Station 6, Pesh, Commander's Palace. Someone mentioned Pelican Club. Boy, is that good. Haven't been there in years. Need to get back there. If you like all those places, you like fine dining, you like to dine out, you like great New Orleans restaurants, great food, then you got to get to Gallagher's 527 because it's clearly one of the best in Mandeville. Pat Gallagher's been a chef for 50 years. He knows what he's doing. And the menu's spectacular. Steaks and lamb chops sizzling in butter, all kind of great local seafood dishes like oysters wrapped in bacon, flash fried with an Amandine Meunier sauce. The best crab meat appetizer on planet Earth. Warren LaRousse recipe, that crab meat St. Francis, piping hot, spectacular. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Don't forget some of the best gumbo in the metro area. You think I'm going to send you to Gallagher's 527 as a New Orleanian? You're going to go in there and say, give me a cup of the gumbo. You're going to eat it and go, it was mediocre. I don't know what Corey's talking about. I guess he's trying to get people in there, and this gumbo wasn't so good. It was okay. It wasn't great.
It won't be that way. It'll be some of the best gumbo you've had in Metro New Orleans. Like, I don't think very good. I think excellent, fantastic, off the charts. Same with the turtle soup. Gallagher's 527 is special. Check it out. You'll be glad you did. Like I often say, two things. You'll be like, Corey was right. Loved it. Fantastic. And the second thing, you'll be like me, going back every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. Got to get my Gallagher's 527 fix. I was in Slidell the other day, knocking out some business. I went to Gallagher's in Slidell and got the $24 lunch special, the same that they have in Mandeville. Got that great salad with the balsamic vinaigrette, 6 different salad dressings to choose from, all homemade. I got the shish kebab sizzling in butter with the green beans. And then I got half an ooey gooey dessert, which is fantastic. The hot brownie, hot cake with the vanilla ice cream, caramel, and chocolate syrup. Fantastic. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Hey, when we come back, Scott Craig's going to join us from Katie's and Francesca Deli. Couple of yats chopping it up about the LSU job, Tulane, and more. Michael Hecht, 15 minutes away. Fantasy Friday. Don't move.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-JC.com, your cool spots.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
I love that. I get to hear that voice guy hype Katie's in Mid-City, and then right away we go to Katie's in Mid-City. Maybe. Or maybe he's in between Katie's and Francesca. Scott Craig joins us on the program for a few minutes. A couple of yats chopping it up. find out what's going on at Katie's, find out what's going on at Francesca, maybe get some selections, college and pro picks. But first, let's say hey to Scott. What's up, Scott?
Corey, don't you know that's my real profession is sports gambling? I'm not really a chef or a restaurateur. I'm a sports gambler.
You're the Robert De Niro character on Casino. You almost get killed, but in the end, you're right back to booking.
Yeah, bro. Rothstein.
What you do best. Yeah, I always can pick winners, and I always can send money back home.
It's just fun. I do it for fun, you know. It's good time, but I do take my time and study it and pay attention to what's going on. I know who's hurt, who's not. I take time. You know, I only do about 10 games.
Hey, Scott, before we get into those selections and the food selections at both Katie's and Francesca, I was saying earlier, in an ideal world, John Sumrall stays at Tulane and LSU gets Lane Kiffin. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think John Sumrall is just destined to leave because he's just a shining star. If I'm LSU, honestly, I would consider like jettisoning Lane Kiffin and focusing exclusively on Tulane's John Sumrall. And you could almost have like a swap, you know, like where if Sumrall's got to leave, I'd like him to go to LSU. Now, I know there's a bunch of Tulane fans, Scott, that if Sumrall's got to leave, I want him going anywhere but LSU. But I like both schools. So maybe Sumrall ends up in Baton Rouge. Maybe Blake Baker ends up back at Tulane, the defensive coordinator at LSU. What do you think?
I really totally agree with you, man. I've been saying it. If Coach Sumrall is going to leave Tulane, and guys, you know, he's got an opportunity potentially to have a Power 4 job, a real Power 4 job. Now, I think he had this opportunity last year, but he stayed. He wants to be here. He wants to be in New Orleans. He wants to be in Louisiana. So what does that tell you? First of all, he is the highest of character person. And the way he's handling this whole thing just shows it. You know, the whole Florida thing. I'm not doing that. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, he is sticking with Tulane. He's Tulane all the way. He loves Tulane. He loves New Orleans. But in saying that, if he has an opportunity to leave, and that's what he chooses to do. In a perfect world, he stays at Tulane and LSU gets another coach. I don't care if it's Kiffin or not. I'm not that big a Kiffin fan. I find him to be kind of aloof, and I don't trust the guy. But if you have an opportunity to get John Sumrall, who is one of the finest people that could ever represent your university, you've got to do it before hiring anyone else. If they don't get Kiffin and they hire Drinkwitz or something like that, I'm going to vomit, because you're missing out on potentially your coach for the next 20 years.
No, and potentially a great Power 4 coach. He's proven it at the lower level at Troy. He's proven it at the, you know, right at the Power 4 level almost with the Tulane, you know, and now it's what's the next step? No, like I said, Scott, I hope John Sumrall stays at Tulane another year or two. I love the guy, and I love what he's doing at Tulane, and I love the Green Wave program, and they deserve someone like that. But if he's going to leave, I'd like to see him go to LSU. And I know a lot of Green Wave fans don't feel that way. And I get it. I don't think they're wrong. It's a rivalry, especially for old school folks, you know?
But it's not a rivalry anymore.
No, it isn't. But for the old school folks, it is, Scott. It's still the wheelbarrow.
I understand that, man. But you got to think about what's best for your school. And this guy, the best coach in America, I happen to believe, is at Tulane right now. And if you loved him that much, you'd be going to every game. There's 24 people at the games. It's pretty sad. Fill up the stadium. If you Tulane guys out there, and there's so many of you, want him so bad, you should be going to the games. because those games don't sell out, Corey. And
No,
that's
they don't.
ridiculous.
No, you're right.
They
It
went
is.
out there in the playoffs, and they can't sell out the stadium. That's sad. I'm sorry.
No, you're right.
Even I go to some games, and I don't have time. I'm in the restaurant business. But I want to go to the games, and I want to support Coach Summerall and this amazing staff he's got. So I'm just telling you, man, if LSU isn't smart enough to see that, well, they probably aren't. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I am a fan of both schools. I went to LSU. Unfortunately, I could have never gone to Tulane, nor could I have afforded it or been accepted. It's just the bottom line. I'm a public school kid, and that's just the way it was. But I just want what's best for John Summerall and his family and his coaching staff, because I know a lot of them. I know him, and I really like them a lot. And they're great people. And I just want what's best for him. And if that is staying in Louisiana, it would be phenomenal. And then Blake Baker goes to Tulane. It would be even better.
Yep. No, I like all what you just said. And the most significant point I got out of that is Scott Craig just publicly said that Brother Martin is a public school. Let's move on.
Well,
Let's move on.
that was high school.
Let's
I
move
wasn't
on.
Going to be able to afford Tulane.
Brother Martin's a public school, according to Scott Craig at Katie's. Brother Martin's a public
Hey,
school.
my son graduated from Spring Hill.
Nice. Did he?
Yes.
Oh, congratulations, man. What a great
He's a Brother
school.
Martin grad.
Yep.
It was 2 years ago.
So you sent him to the Jesuit College. Holy smokes.
I did, but my son's smart. You know why? He's adopted.
Not part of the gene pool. Hey, Scott,
No.
it's Selection Friday. We're talking about selecting coaches. How about what selections of delicacies at Katie's tonight?
Oh, wow. I've got beautiful stuffed flounder pockets. I have 12 of them. Beautiful stuffed flounder.
What are you stuffing them with?
Seafood stuffing. Shrimp,
Nice.
crab meat.
You got 12 flounder available at Katie's tonight.
Yeah.
When those dozen flounder are gone, they're gone.
And they're absolutely beautiful. I'm also doing panko crusted redfish with a lemon butter beurre blanc and crab meat, which will also be delicious. We've also got beautiful fried soft shell crabs. I don't know how I got them, but I got them.
How many you got?
We're doing that over penne pasta. I have about 2 dozen.
All right, 24 soft shell crabs. They'll be gone by tomorrow.
Yeah. And then we're doing crawfish etouffee with fried catfish. That is for lunch tomorrow. Sorry. And black and red fish with crawfish etouffee for dinner. And those are our dinner specials tonight. Oh, and the seafood ravioli with fried eggplant. Absolutely delicious. So you got to come up to Katie's and sit on the beautiful patio and enjoy this weather.
What's going on at
the weather.
Francesca Deli tonight in Lakeview?
It's Seafood Friday, like always. Seafood Friday.
You see the food, you eat it, or SEA food?
Yes. See the food and eat it. Anything you order there, you're going to love. We did have a complaint recently, man. One complaint. It's like maybe the second one this year. And these people came to Francesca for the first time ever. This is how I know it's not a legit complaint. They split a legend Saint Poor Boy, which is the legend is cochon and barbecued shrimp stuffed in a French bread, hollowed out and stuffed. First of all, very unusual. You need to know what it is before you order it. People that know what it is love it. I've been serving them at Katie's since 2012.
What was the complaint?
Okay. That it was odd and didn't have enough flavor.
Wow.
And hold on, they split it. That's the only thing they had, and they split it. For the first time, they come to Francesca and they split that, and that's how they judge the restaurant. They didn't order anything else. It was just that, and that's not fair, guys. Whoever goes to restaurants, it's not fair. You got to give restaurants an opportunity, and it is an unusual taste, and you got to expect that. So, is what it is. But,
Scott, we got about 2 minutes. You got any college and pro selections?
My college selections tomorrow. Texas State minus 17.5 over ULM. Colorado +7 at home against Arizona State. UCLA +11 at home against Washington. Charlotte +44 against Georgia at Georgia. Georgia does not cover at home, especially big spreads. Toledo minus 27.5 over Ball State. San Diego State over San Jose State minus 11. That's a real good play because San Diego State's killing everybody and San Jose State's kind of checked out. The Fighting Willie Fritzes are Pickett over TCU at home. I've got Houston.
Yeah, Houston's 25th in the land. They're 8-2.
Yeah. Coach Willie was in Katie's a couple of weeks ago. He was in town on their break, and he came by to see me and brought me a University of Houston Cougar hat.
Wow, what a nice guy.
I love Coach Willie. He's a great guy.
That's awesome,
South
man.
Carolina minus 24 over Coastal Carolina at home. Georgia Southern +12.5 at Old Dominion. North Carolina +7 against Duke. Duke is really kind of tailing off, and Bill Belichick's finally got that team playing good ball. And the last one is UCF minus 13 at home against Oklahoma State.
Any pro selections on Sunday?
I don't. I like the Saints. I like the Saints, and I had them, bro. The Saints, and I like the who's playing the Colts? It's Kansas City over the Colts. Kansas City's needing a win bad, and the Colts are suffering with a lot of injuries. So I like Kansas City -3 at home against the Colts. Kansas City's got their backs to the wall. They're going to beat the Colts. And I know the Colts have a good team, but they're beat up. So there you go.
Scott, always a pleasure, brother. Have a great weekend. Supposed to be great weather, great outdoor dining weather for Katie's tonight and through the weekend. Brunch tomorrow, brunch on Sunday.
Thank you, brother.
You're the man, Scott. Thank you.
Man.
That's Scott Craig from Katie's, from Francesca Deli, joining us on a Friday. Corey Johnson with you. Michael Hecht, Greater New Orleans Inc. Next.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Welcome back on a Friday, Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson back at you. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. Lamarck Ford for over 45 years in Kenner. Lamarck Lincoln, #1 Lincoln dealership in the state. If you need a commercial truck, van, or SUV, Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood for over 80 years. Yeah, it is a Fantasy Friday. We're heading into the weekend. I love bringing this guy on the program, hopefully with some good economic news. This segment, by the way, always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant. We're heading into the new year. Looking for a New Year's resolution? Maybe it's a new job, a new career. Go to latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. Dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of jobs available at Latrim, at their Elmwood facility or their I-12 facility on the North Shore. Latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. Michael Heck's with us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. What up, Miguel?
What's up, KJ? You enjoying this weather?
It's fantastic, man. That's why we live here. I like the history, the architecture, the people, the culture, the food, the music, but we often overlook the weather, man. I mean, we have fantastic weather. Here's a great stat for you, Michael. We're obviously in the wettest part of the country, from Houston to Jacksonville, the I-10 corridor, 65 inches of rain on average a year. It's about 50% more rain than Seattle. Yet we get 60 more days of sunshine, 2 more months of sunshine than Seattle. So a lot of rain, it comes down fast. And then the rest of the time, we usually have pretty mild, sunny weather. So something we overlook.
Yeah, Seattle just, I don't know, man. I could see, I enjoy visiting there, but the living there thing, I don't get it, man. It just seems all around unpleasant over time between the weather and the squalor and the people. No offense to any of your listeners in Olympia right now.
Well, it's kind of got that, skies low, overcast all the time, misty rain all the time. It can be depressing, I would imagine.
I think so. I think you drink a lot of coffee, smoke a lot of cigarettes, but at the end of the day.
And you got to get on the bike and keep pedaling. Otherwise, you might commit Harry Carey.
Exactly.
Let's see, Michael, you got any news before we jump into it? I got some topics for you. Anything going on in the world of...
Well, I've just been working a lot with the mayor and the transitions team, and they're getting right into it, right-sizing the budget, looking for sources of revenue, looking for ways to bring in technology and AI to help with things like permitting and infrastructure. People keep asking, what do I think about the timing of this crisis? And I'm trying to be polite about it, but the reality is that, man, I think, if it happened a year before now, we'd be in bankruptcy. If it happened a year after from now, the mayor would own it. It'd be ugly. I think the timing's pretty damn good for a crisis. And we just have to make the most of it and not just try to patch it over, but do the real work that, is required from, honestly, the city has been shrinking for, 60 years, and we've never really done anything to adjust its size, which is one of the things that's contributed to the shrinkage. So we got to right size, and I think that's the approach that Elena and the team are taking.
I was looking at some statistics the other day, Michael.
from the 50s into the 60s, into the 70s, into the 80s, Louisiana and New Orleans especially was leading the way, like ridiculous growth, like in the teens, every decade, sometimes even close to 20% growth. And then it just stopped by the 80s. And for the last 45 plus years, it's like 0.3, 1.2. It's just, it went from double digit growth every decade to less than single digit growth every decade. How do we stop this 45-year, if not hemorrhage? We're back in the car into the mud and just spinning the tires. We're not moving forward.
I think it's four things, Corey. The first and the most important is economic opportunity. Ultimately, people will go where the jobs are. The second and third things are quality of life and affordability. You need those things to be balanced. And then the last thing is that you need leadership that can tell a good story. You need a good narrative. And none of those, the first three are not easy. They take time. The last one you can jumpstart, but needs to be backed up by the facts. But I think that we have a path to all these. I saw some stats the other day. Auto insurance coming down for the first time in years. So these things the needle can move, but it requires sustained effort on those four areas. Do you think I'm missing anything there?
No, but also I think, what sort of has to really drive you, Batty. You've seen people in your position in other cities struggling, the city's struggling. And then all of a sudden it catches some momentum. And then, 3 years, 5 years down the road, you're looking back at this economic, engine that was created. And you're thinking, how will we ever so far behind in the past? How do we struggle? So we've been struggling for 45 years, Michael. My point is, at any time, something could catch on. I mean, America could be like, we're sick of these generic cities. We want to go to one with culture. We want to get out of the weather. We want to go somewhere where we could retire. I mean, whatever. All of a sudden, momentum takes off, and we're looking in the rearview mirror at all this. But so far, it's been 45 years of not getting out of that. But I'm optimistic that it could happen anytime, and we'll look back on it and go, how will we ever in that situation?
Yeah, sometimes places have to hit bottom. Look at Detroit. It was bankrupt, and now Detroit's doing pretty well. So, cities go through cycles, and there's some things about our city, the river, the culture, oil and gas that are pretty, real significant, special competitive advantages that nobody can take away from us. And so, that's where we leverage from. So I am, I'm actually wearing a T-shirt to a party tonight. The T-shirt says "Fatal Optimist." It's just what I am.
Michael, I was talking with a buddy of mine. This is kind of a little off topic, but not really. Right up your alley. I was talking about some places in Louisiana that are underrated and underappreciated. And two places popped up that I think should just be like retirement hotbed communities. Like the rest of the country knows about them. And, folks that are retiring, husband and wife, they're coming here to retire. One is Hammond, Louisiana, and the other is Lafayette. I think both places are underrated, are full of ridiculous culture. Now, Lafayette's kind of obvious with the culture, but I think Hammond's got a lot of culture. That train depot area, a lot of young people.
Great downtown.
Southeastern, it's in between New Orleans and Baton Rouge. You're 45 minutes from Louis Armstrong. It's safe from hurricanes. You're on the I-12 corridor on the North Shore. I think Hammond and Lafayette should be nationwide American retirement communities with thousands of people moving to those communities every year. And I don't think they have that at all.
Man. I mean, particularly, I think Hammond is underappreciated.
Totally.
It's kind of got a little bit of everything.
It does. It's got culture, good restaurants,
University.
Yep. I know. It's just I-12 corridor's got a lot of potential for growth with industry. Anyway, just a thought. I think Hammond's underrated, like you just said. Hey, I was going by Po' Boy Fest on Sunday. You really got to talk to Helena Moreno about it. I'm going to talk to her when I get her on the show, but I think you're going to have a little more headway with her. I'm over there around Oak Street, and there's a meter maid on 2 cell phones calling in tow trucks. She's parked illegally. Her city vehicle's parked on a corner illegally. The tow trucks are coming in, 2, 3, 4 at a time, and they're just towing cars. We suck at, we can't pick up garbage twice a week, but when there's a festival on a Sunday.
The only thing that we're good at is harassing people with their cars.
It's not inviting,
I
Michael.
I agree with you. We should be towing people who are parked in places that are dangerous. I agree with that. But come on, you're a po' boy fest and you're patronizing this thing. I agree. It's just disrespectful. It's unnecessary. Let's get all this stuff in order before we start pretending we're Singapore.
And it's short-term thinking. The guy that comes from Metairie or the North Shore to Po' Boy Fest that gets ticketed, he's not coming back to New Orleans again. So you got him for $150 for the ticket, and you lost, thousands and thousands of dollars that he would be spending in the city. And you know how some of these crabby people are? Screw New Orleans. I'm not going there. And they stick to their guns.
And now they'll tell everybody on Facebook.
Yep. No, exactly. All right, Michael, some good news. That $500 million bond issue passed. What does that mean for the city?
Well, it means a couple things. First and foremost, it's a pretty extraordinary vote of confidence in the Moreno administration, right? Considering that we're mired basically in a fiscal dumpster fire of mismanagement, for the fact that the voters agreed to let this administration handle $500 million of infrastructure money, really, I think it says something about the confidence that Helena and the team are inspiring. That's the first thing. The second is that it's going to let us get into some of these really annoying eyesore projects, like Lindy Boggs, right over there, Norman C. Francis.
Yep.
Or like the NSA project. It's going to let us work on charity. It's going to help us with these projects in New Orleans East, like Six Flags and Lake Forest Plaza and Lincoln Beach. So it's going to give us money for all the normal stuff, all the regular stuff. So I was pleasantly surprised that all 3 flew through, but I think it's an indication that people believe in the change. And now look, I said to Helena, now we can't let them down.
Hey, Michael, I saw Rouse's is buying 10 Winn-Dixies in Louisiana and Mississippi. Some good news, I think, for people on these. I'm not knocking Winn-Dixie, but I think a Rouse is a far superior grocery. That Winn-Dixie on Chef Highway in the East will become a Rouse's. So they're going to get a lot of local flavor out there, an upgrade for the East.
No, I agree. Look, I'm sad to see Langenstein's go away.
Me too.
But Rouse's is now about the most local one that we got. I mean, it is local. And they do a great job. I love their stores. They're well stocked. Like you said, they have a lot of local products, and they've got local flair. So, no, I'm thrilled to say, again, nothing against Winn-Dixie, but it was kind of, Winn-Dixie. Rouse's is definitely a step up in terms of the quality and in terms of the local flavor.
And Michael,
I'm really happy about that.
Do you have 5 more minutes?
Yeah, I got until about 8:50, 8:56.
Perfect.
For game-changing
We're coming right back.
innovation,
Don't
look
move.
to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, no cool spots. TM-AC.com, no cool spots.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe. Some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Yeah, you right. 5 o'clock Pow Hour, Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. Thanks so much for joining us. Boy, tonight would be a nice night to go to Trey Yen in Mandeville. It's not Chinese food, it's Chinese cuisine. Some of the best Chinese food in America can be found right here in Metro New Orleans. Tonight for dinner or over the weekend, make it Trey Yen in Mandeville. Michael, I'm glad you stuck around a few extra minutes because we had to get your take on this. On Wednesday, the 12-year federal oversight of the NOPD officially ended. A federal judge ends the NOPD consent decree. What's that mean?
It's huge news. I think first and foremost, it's recognition that this is a radically improved police force than it was 12 years ago. The one 12 years ago needed the tough love. It was a problem. The one now is recognized across the country as one of the better police forces. So I think it's well-deserved recognition. Secondly, it takes the handcuffs literally off the police on a number of areas. And it also takes off a fiscal drag. This thing cost us like $20 million over the years. It was expensive. We need the money. So big kudos to NOPD, to the chief, to everybody who's been before. This is really happy news that to some degree hasn't gotten as much play as I thought it would because it's a big deal, but I'm glad it happened.
Yeah, glad that happened. You know what else I was glad? When the mayoral election was going down with the big three and they were asked about the police chief, all three were like, we're going to keep Ann Kirkpatrick. You know, credit to all three candidates, even the two that didn't win. They weren't going to use that as political nonsense, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So in that area, chalk that up as a solid win, and it was hard won, and people can feel good about it. And I think that the most important thing, Corey, is that the culture has changed, and that's really why this is going to get better.
Yeah,
because the culture is fundamentally different than it was, during Hurricane Katrina.
Well, thanks to you and the NOLA Coalition, that was a tremendous help.
Well, you're part of it. A lot of people get credit, and that's everybody should take a victory lap and then gird for the next adventure.
That's what's another positive about the NOLA Coalition. You want to see what New Orleans looks like? Go to the NOLA Coalition. That's the gumbo right there. Hey, speaking of, what's next for the NOLA Coalition? You guys always have something that you're shooting for, something you're trying to do.
Main thing now, Corey, is helping the NOPD with recruiting. Our friends at DXC Technology have built an AI recruiting app to help people track their progress. And we just have to get that number up from the 800 or 900 it's at now, back above 1,000 and closer to 1,200, because at some point there's just only so much you can do. So recruiting, I think, is the next frontier we really want to help out.
Michael, before we let you go, our usual ending question: any singles, doubles, triples, home runs, grand slams out there on the horizon?
Man, I was talking about a couple of grand slams today that we're working on. One that there's a letter out, an offer, but it's not to be announced yet. We talked about the Chilco announcement up in that's in Lacombe, I think. That's a 70 job, $5 million expansion. That's a single. Otherwise, I think that's about it for right now. We just did a recalculation on the pipeline. There have been $70 billion announced in the past 5 years of projects, and there's $230 billion in the pipeline. All the stuff around natural gas and carbon capture. So it's the state is doing well. I mean, we gained population last year, and I think we might gain population again this year. I think we're slowly maybe clawing our way back.
Hey, what's the letter you talk about with the Grand Slam potential?
Oh, that just means that it's a letter of it's an offer that we've made out, a letter of intent, LOI, that's gone out to a company. So now they have to respond, but it's kind of like the offer you make, and it formally begins the negotiation process to potentially get somebody to, yeah.
And what would they be bringing here? And I know you're not going to say specifically, but like jobs at a factory or jobs in the CBD?
It'd be somewhere in between, advanced manufacturing. I can't say more than that.
All right.
You might find me in the bottom of Lake Pontchartrain.
Yeah, that's right. We're getting the Target in New Orleans East. I'm Latoya Cantrell. Target's coming. You don't want to do that, Michael. Tragic. Always a pleasure. Thank you, Michael.
Have a great weekend. Enjoy the beautiful weather.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, too.
Yeah, that's right. Happy Thanksgiving, man. Have a wonderful one.
Yep. I won't be eating turkey. You know why? Because turkey's turkey. It's not served at good restaurants for a reason. You want to know what's worse than turkey, Michael? Turducken. The first 4 letters say it all.
Oh, man. I was about to say we're going for an oyster turducken because it's more moist, but I'm glad I didn't say that because you would have excoriated me on the radio.
I'm going to the Chop House and get a steak on Thanksgiving.
Oh, man, that's good. However, like everybody has different ways of saying thanks.
Yep, no doubt. Miguel, a pleasure, brother. Thank you.
You too, my friend. Talk to you soon.
That's Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. That segment's always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant. Lots of jobs available at Latrim. New Year's coming. Go to their website, latrim.com, for a full listing of positions available. Well, we got a gorgeous weekend. Great weather. Tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Lots of 60s and 70s. We might creep up to like 80 in the day. But, I mean, lots of 60s and 70s. Beautiful weather. Cool front expected by the middle of next week. Thanksgiving could be 40s and 50s. We'll see by the time we get into next week, but that's the forecast right now, which would be nice. I loved a couple of weeks ago, that little winter blast we got, 40s and 50s. It lasted about 2 days. We're right back to 60 degrees. Perfect. Thanksgiving, chilling a little bit next week. Perfect. Boy, when it's this kind of weather, you want to enjoy your outdoor backyard, enjoy the weather outside. Hey, ladies, Christmas is next month. If you get in touch with Colin and the crew at LGD Lawn and Landscapes, they can install a putting and chipping green in your backyard for Dad in time for Christmas. NOLA, LGD.com is the website. Get an absolutely free estimate on installation of artificial or synthetic turf in your backyard, or even a chipping or putting green for the golfer in your life. NOLA, LGD.com is the website. You can see all kinds of installations all over Metro New Orleans. I've got a chipping and putting green in my backyard from LGD Lawn and Landscapes, and I absolutely love it. Ladies, get your husband that chipping and putting green in your backyard in time for Christmas. NOLA, LGD.com. NOLA, LGD.com. Now, I look out the window. I see that green. I'm out there practicing chipping, like pinching myself. It's awesome. What's that, Blue Boy? You enjoy it as well. Lower maintenance in the backyard. You're right. Have a great weekend, New Orleans. Roll Wave. Go Tigers. Go Saints. Go Pels. Tonight, the Pels have a chance at victory against the Mavs, who aren't very good. Blue Boy says, have a great weekend. Monday, 4 o'clock. Be here.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM,
Blue. We gotta do a
WSLA
legal
New
ID.
Orleans.
Down, Blue.
It's 6 p.m.
Good boy.